All right, we are live, and the New York Mets are bad, playing bad. That's for fucking certain. Maybe bad, maybe in a rough patch. Definitely excruciating to watch. We had our KFC and I had our therapy session on Tuesday. KFC is traveling, and you know what? It's perfect. We have Phil back. And we brought in our boy Rico Bosco. We need basically everyone's take on the way that this is going right now, because this ain't 2022, folks. We are back to the fucking suck, and it is not fun. Rico, welcome to the show. How we doing, pal?
What's going on? We might play a game here. Like, I'm dealing with horrific back pain. So if you guys bring up a guy and I yell motherfucker, you can play a game, whether it's the player or my back. Chances are it's both. So we'll play that little game here in honor of Kirk's show. I brought a game to this show, so we can play that. Motherfucker or back. That's what we can play.
I like that. Shitty player or shitty back. That's the game of the day right now. Phil's looking like a meme that he would post right now on his account. He ain't looking like he's doing too good, Phil. There ain't no fucking Mets bed right now.
A world of pain and misery right now. The only good thing about yesterday is that Frank flew in for Rough and Rowdy, so I got to watch the 5-0 game in silence at least.
Oh, man.
Which I sometimes just need.
Yeah, you just need to watch your team lose a bullpen game to the Cincinnati Reds and watch them just go down 5-0. And, we'll just get into it right now. We'll recap the series. Kev, I remember KFC last week, he's like, let me preview the next few series for you, Clem. The Mets are going to play a team that we're better than. They're going to lose 2 out of 3 to them, and we're going to leave the series saying, maybe we're the bad team. And that's exactly what happened against the Rockies. That's exactly what happened against the Reds. And now we're just sitting there with our fucking dicks in our hands and our tears in our beer and just going through it, man. And again, yesterday, it started once again with the starting pitching. I'm not going to let the offense off the hook because they scored 0 runs. But when you're just down off the bat, first inning, the BEC couldn't even go near the Mets right now. It's fucking first run innings every single time. It's fucking God, it's so fucking frustrating. And
Clem, you know what I heard yesterday? A real idiot. Who's on hot ice? Those guys are idiots. Because somebody said, I did give out Senga's strikeouts, which somehow hit. It hit 7 strikeouts. So I was like, you know what? Like, he's 3-1. The ERA's got to come down, but like, he might be these words came out of my mouth. He's not going to win it, but he might be a Cy Young like sleeper the way he's pitching. That from my mouth to the devil's ears. Bing, 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 bing. And we got fucking waxed. It's crazy. Like, you can't have anything nice. It's nuts.
It's disgusting, dude. And you're just like every day, you're like, oh, maybe this is the guy that's going to get it going. And to be fair, Verlander came out and was the Verlander we were hoping for.
Yeah.
The Reds had 2 hits. Fucking offense is doing good. We're like, all right, let's fucking win this series in Cincinnati. And then this is what bad starting pitching does. I'm starting to use this, so I feel like I'm turning into Fleming right now. It's ending pitching. It's not even starting pitching. It ends the game before it even starts. I believe last time I was rattling off numbers, I said the Mets were 31st in the league in ERA, which is impossible considering there's 30 teams. They've been playing that bad. I believe the starters are now up to 25th in ERA, but the hitting is now 20th in runs per game. So the hitting's gone to shit. And again, I give these guys a pass. It's like, well, when you're down in the hole, you're going to be scuffling at the plate trying to come back, and then the bullpen's going to be taxed because you're talking 5th inning guys and now fucking 4th inning guys. You're completely fucked. But I can't give the offense a complete pass anymore. If, in particular, it sounds like I think Marte and Canna right now are the guys on the hot seat. As much as people want to flame Vogelback because he looks like me and everyone wants to throw his ass off the team, I think Canna and Marte have been the guys that have been fucking us so far. Phil, like, I'm not going crazy, right?
No, in reality, those are the only 2 guys that are like severely underperforming. I think it was like One Shining Mets gave out like the stats yesterday. I think it's like 7 guys have WRC pluses over 100, so they're all above league average, outside of Marte and Canna, who are like in the 60s.
And they dropped off a cliff. They're like half as good as they were last year in that stat. Yeah, I saw that. That was a good one.
How about this? Alonso's got 13 homers. The other 7 guys combined, I think it's 7 or 6. Lindor, Nimmo, McNeil, Marte, Canna, Vogelback, all pretty much regulars. I'll do a Francesa here. 6, 9, 11, 12, 15. 17 home runs. Like if Pete, imagine if I was Pete, like I'd be like, dude, I'm getting everything.
Yeah.
I'm getting a piece of the concessions. I'm getting a piece of merch. I'm getting everything. Like what else can I do? I know he's not hitting great, but it's like, I mean, he hits for power. So 234, like it is what it is. But there's rest of the team.
Pete's in a slump himself too. It's like the last 2 weeks. It's like I think those homers was only hit. Yeah.
It's crazy that he's still doing that with the slump, but it just kind of shows where we are as a team. I just saw this too, where we are as a team. Whew. Mets lose 5 series in a row for the first time in a decade. Boys, I'll tell you, that's from 2023 all the way to 2013. There's a lot of shitty baseball played in that decade. And the fact that this is the first time that we've done that in a decade is fucking alarming. It's fucking terrifying.
They've played some pretty good teams. The Reds won that World Series like 50 years ago. They're not a bad team.
The Tigers with Ty Cobb I've had to be good once upon a time.
The Rockies had an incredible run in 2007. That team's we got to give them just tip your caps to that team.
Rico, how fun was Rocktober? Just watching from 30,000 feet. Rocktober was a lot of fun.
CJ Crone has multiple MVPs. That's been said on this show. Like he was an object of our desire, but you can't give up a franchise player who broke the home run record. So yeah, you're right. We're losing to these great teams. Maybe we just spin it that way. Like, nah, those guys are good. Like,
and God, now. I would say it wouldn't be beyond this team to come out after this Nats series, which God, smite me down for looking past any team right now. I shouldn't look past the Nats. But like the Rays come in and it's like, Mets come out with their hair on fire. The pitching is going to get eaten alive by that Rays lineup. That Rays lineup, this guy, Josh Lowe, I picked him in fantasy. Guy just hits fucking bombs whenever he feels like it. They can all run. So we have to just worry about our, catching getting exposed and shit like that. Tomas Nido. On the DL, Rico, do you know why Nido went on the IL? Did you see the diagnosis with it?
I didn't, but I'm going to go to use a line from my buddy in college who, when he found out that we had whooping cough and something else ridiculous, he goes, why can't we have regular diseases like colleges, like STDs? He goes, that's what he said. Yep. So, I don't know, whooping cough, I'll go with.
That's a good one. Good guess, but it's not the case. But it is very much, we are back into the anal fissures and valley fever realm. That's where we are right now. Tomas Nido went on the IL with dry eyes syndrome. That is a real fucking thing, apparently, dry eyes syndrome. So I imagine it's from crying that he has to fucking catch these dickheads every single game and then just, be put behind the 8 ball. Dry eyes syndrome is what we're dealing with now.
I mean, let's not let him off the hook. He's got to catch these guys. He's hitting 118.
Yeah, exactly. They're watching him hit.
You could have told me he was blind and I would have been like, you know what, that makes sense.
People wanted this fucking podcast to get pessimistic. It's fucking pessimistic, guys. We got a lot of shit for being optimistic during 101 wins last year. I'm starting to feel this. Enrico, you're like me and Kevin in that you were old enough for it. Like, there is a very small part of me, because I don't truly believe this in my soul of souls, my heart of hearts. There's a part of me, it's like, is 2022 going to be like 2006 was for us, where we just talk about it like for 10 years, being like, guys, remember how glorious that season was? And we just won every game, and we would come back and we'd throw combined no-hitters, and kick the Phillies in the dick whenever we felt like it. It's starting to feel like that just right now in this month of the season. I
know. I talk about it all the time, like the window, and you see it with the Knicks too, like 94. We talk about how great that was. I was 7 years old. I didn't stay up for a lot of those games, but you were old enough to appreciate it, and you went to games and you watched, and your dad would be like, watch Oakley box out. And you were there for a fist fight and you saw the highlights and you knew enough what was going on, but I was a young kid. 94 is idolized for the Knicks, the same with 06 for the Mets. And that run, World Series, NLCS disaster, and then 2 years of disaster after it. Look at this run now. It's really frustrating when it seems like the window's going to close, and that's kind of what I think. I don't know. We wasted David Wright's prime, essentially. Is Alonso going to be kind of a waste? You go out and get these guys, Scherzer's all world. I would have killed to have Justin Verlander in a Mets uniform. Bowls the size of my head. He's probably checked, I don't know. I do think he's tough, and I'm hoping he does a Lou Collins in the end of Little Big League, where he's like, guys, I've been through a lot of baseball. This is going to be a crazy week. Like come back. I don't know. At this point in his career, he's new. Will the other guys be like, look at this jerk off? He's new in town. He's trying to take the locker room. Like, I don't know. Is Buck the guy? Was I right about Buck? Just grooving one to fucking Jeter, that scumbag. Like, was I right? I'm not gonna close that door. But it's tough. When you have a team with a window and you watch it close, it's really tough. And I kind of worry that we're seeing the window, and as each of these guys give a statement that they retire from baseball, like Matt Harvey and Syndergaard's out, probably crying over the engagement, and Wheeler's pitching for the fucking Phillies. Like, it's like, damn, like that I said it too. I'm like, I worry this is going to be Generation K 2.0. So like all these nice things, it's just tough to, and it is hard to win, but you got to, I don't know, just go get it done.
Yeah, just go. What was the thing that Buck said last year? He was like, I don't want to
play better.
Play better. That should put that on the fucking believe sign from Ted Lasso. Throw it up outside the manager's office and just go fucking win some goddamn ball games and stop embarrassing us here more than anything. And like we're saying, we're not looking past anyone. There's no like easy games. I don't want to hear that word anymore because we are now the team. We are meat. When people see us on the schedule, like, let's eat up on fucking David Peterson or Tyler McGill tonight, or whatever the fuck we're throwing out there.
Or whoever we have our fourth inning relievers or our fifth inning relievers.
Listen, coming to Citi Field used to be like hard. Now it's easy. Like, all right, we're gonna score 7 runs. I'm gonna probably hit a home run bonus for the weekend, and then I'm gonna hit Marquee with Jackie Tables and have a hell of a night if we got a day game. Like, this is great. Like, end the pitch clock. Like, I'm out of here at 9:30. Do a little media, grab a sandwich. I got my per diem. Boom, grease the guy at the door, and then how you doing with Jackie Tables all night long. Like, New York is a fucking dream now. They're hoping they play. I bet you guys are trying to get traded with the Mets late in the season. Like, I get to go back there and whip on their ass again.
The pitch clock is the only thing making these games like decent to get through. It's like it's over in like 2.5 hours. That's it.
Yeah, it sucks too. Like, I don't know, Clem. You're like me too. Like, you come home from a tough day at work or whatever. You want to watch a game and your team's in it. They took away the summer. Like you can't. You got to know what's going on with your team now. I could see in like July or August, it's like, oh, the Mets are on. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to watch a program. Or if you're out, it's like it is what it is because we just lost another 9 straight. Like, taking away my summer is tough. That's the worst part. Like, just have a nice summer.
That's all you ask from your baseball team. Give me the summer. And as I look at the standings right now, Mets are in 4th place right now in the NL East. Everyone except for the Braves has a negative run differential. The fucking Marlins, who are in 2nd place, have a negative 54 run differential.
12-0 in 1-run games, by the way.
That is absurd. They're 19-19 in 2nd place, man. The people in the AL East, who the Yankees are in last, at 21-18. Much like, you motherfuckers. But again, like, the Yankees are 21-18, 3 games above 500, and like, their fans, other than the Aaron Hicks pure like poison they spit out of their mouth at him, I don't really see them. Like, I think their offense drives them nuts too, right? So at the same point, it's like, it sucks. It's been frustrating to watch, especially against bad teams. But it's like, we said this season was going to be tough. We said it wasn't going to be a dream like last season. Last season sucked because the Braves were so good from fucking June 1st on. We said it was going to be a struggle. Now we just have to live through that struggle.
Well, what point do we do the spin zone?
On what? Let me hear. Do you have a spin zone in mind?
Yeah, as bad as they are and as dead as I think they are, I don't see a lot of staying power in the NL.
No, yes. I completely agree. Okay. This team can win 84 games and get the 6th seed.
The Braves won the division. Okay, it's over.
Yep.
Take that. It is what it is.
The NL East is over. Salicata.
The reverse Salicata, yeah.
It's done. We've made the playoffs back-to-back one time in franchise history. I don't want to hear about 2015-16 because that was fugazi. Just didn't exist. We've made it once. So like you said, all we want to do is be in the mix. And we've had some horrific years. Guys throwing firecrackers at people, like disaster. The Braves are staying power. You guys, tell me where I'm at. We'll do the whole list. Marlins, real or fake?
Fugazi.
Right. Phillies. I mean, probably in the mix.
They're like us.
Yeah, like us. Okay, you got to beat them when you got to beat them. So, like, that's one. Pittsburgh, I don't know. The Brewers, somebody's going to win the division, so it doesn't bother us. Like, whatever. So then, let's say Pittsburgh's for real. I don't think they are because they came back to earth. Milwaukee, Cubs, Cincinnati, Dodgers, for real. Diamondbacks, I love my boy Gallen.
You love Gallen.
Padres, again, like still in the mix. Like all
the Padres, their lineup is stacked. They have less runs than us. Think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got 157. We got 158. How about the weird one is the Cubs, plus 48 in run differential. They're a game under 500.
They're not real.
I know. So it's just I just don't see a lot of staying power in the NL. And I hope Verlander does do the Lou Collins, like, hey, a lot of baseball. And Sandy's got to make a move. I wrote that bar. I know it's like early and like, who are you going to go get? Go make a move. I don't care. Like, you got it's like not fixing a leaky sink. And the next thing you know, you're just like Jack and Rose, eyes to the ceiling, like, oh, like, come on, bro, make a move. We're going to drown here.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's a fair point. I don't know, like, where this starting pitching. It's like, all right, you tell me Max is getting older and the injuries are adding up, and this is exactly what we thought could happen. It's happening. It sucks. Verlander being back, knock on every fucking tree I can. He seems to have his shit figured out. He's good. Senga's going through the growing pains we knew he was going to go through. But, like, Howard, McGill, and Peterson just straight trash. It's like every time we needed someone to step up, they stepped up last year. People ain't stepping up this year. Am I blaming Hefner? Am I blaming the players? Am I blaming the dude, the director of pitching development? Phil, did you hear about that guy? We talked about him last episode.
Yes.
I'll throw anyone under the bus.
We'll blame George Santos, who's arrested.
That's true. Yeah. Well, we were 1-0 with him ever since Let's Go Mets got arrested, but now we can't even say we're undefeated since that happened, since that dickhead won the slammer. So you said root moves, Rico. The biggest thing is you got to call up Vientos. You got to call up Mauricio. I personally think if those motherfuckers ain't pitching, I don't want them up here. Now, I will say this. If you want to throw Vientos in and say, I want a DH that's actually going to hit the ball instead of getting on base and do the Vogelback stuff, I can live with that. There's a chance he's going to come up and not do shit, kind of like Beatty did in the beginning, Alvarez did in the beginning. Maybe he comes up, he gets hot. Or are you saying, I want to move someone? Give me like the fifth best prospect, pitching prospect from another team for our fifth best pitching prospect. So at least we have our fifth best hitting prospect, and we kind of, our strength for their strength kind of thing with the team. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, I was going to do this. How many at-bats has Vientos had, like, in the majors, Phil? I know you know that off the top
in the majors, probably like only like 40. Not even. He's had like 600 in AAA.
Beatty's got a little bit more, obviously, right? Like, we saw his skill set.
Yeah, I think he's around like 100.
Okay, so, Clem, I'm going to do a door 1, door 2 exercise.
Okay.
Door 1. Where is this? You can see this, right?
Yep.
What's in the hand of door 2? You don't know.
Don't know. Yeah.
When you keep Vientos and Beatty in the door 2 thing, I feel like they're a little bit more of like, all right, everyone wants to go for the mystery door. When you know it's a fork and you know what you're getting and you show the hand, you lose all the power. It's like poker. I get what you're saying. Let's bring them up because we can't do any worse. But if we know we're going to try and make a move for a superstar, I think you sell people on the mystery door. Does that make sense?
It could be anything. It could even be a boat, right? Peter Griffin style, right? Like, I get scared of when Vientos comes up. We see he's everything we thought we saw him last year, which granted, like, I'm not saying that's going to be the case. He should get better as he gets older. I just don't want a quadruple A player up here, and then we're just tanking everyone's trade value to chase something that the offense cannot fix.
Right.
One bat in a lineup, granted, a rookie bat in a lineup coming up is not going to fix the fucking 25th worst starter ERA in the game. Because it starts with everything. I was saying this with Kev the other day, Rico. We've been kind of blessed for a team that has not had many blessings in its franchise's history. We've been blessed with starting pitching. We've had the years where the offense absolutely sucks. We've had the years where the bullpen absolutely sucks. And that would be our thing on this podcast during the dog days of the 2019 season, which I can't believe we fucking podcasted because we're a bunch of idiots. And it's like, what would you prefer, a bad bullpen or a bad offense? Because bad pitching starting wasn't really a thing a lot of times. We've had Johan, we've had Pedro, we've had Seaver, fuck Glavin. We've had Seaver, we've had Jake, we've had all these fucking great pitchers. The 5 aces of Flushing, whatever.
I mean, what do you call it? Like, yeah, the Harvey, Syndergaard, they were good for a short period of time, and now we got Scherzer and Verlander. Like, you can't dismiss that. Like,
no, you definitely can't.
Pedro, that's what I was waiting for you to say. Johan, like, we went and got these guys.
Yeah, that happened. But the thing is, if Scherzer's going to just not show up, and you can't even get mad, be like, fucking Epler, what was he doing? He should have signed Carlos Rodon. Might be out for the fucking season. Jacob deGrom, they're saying 2 to 3 weeks. I'm telling you, that's 2 to 3 months. We all know how Jake goes, right? It's like all the fucking guys that they could have signed. Even the Correa thing is fucking blowing up in Minnesota's face, like his ankle.
That's the only saving grace, is that he stinks.
Everyone stinks except for Eovaldi's the one guy.
If you said back in December, oh, the guy in Nathan Eovaldi, he's going to be the best pitcher next year, then God bless you. Like that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
And I don't know who to even go after. Like Oakland's got nothing. Seattle's not in trade mode. Kansas City have somebody like.
Nobody's trading anybody in May, let alone even June.
Right.
The Pirates are in first place. That's why, like, no one needs to trade anyone. It's like they can still live that dream,
that's
right?
The tough part. Now, where do we sit with like you talk about bringing up Vientos and Beatty, who's up obviously, but it's like, where do we sit with the prospects? Do we have a guy dealing in AA?
Yes,
like,
Mike Vassell. Yeah. Mike Vassell's dealing in AA right now.
What are we doing?
Our guy Joe DeMayo hit me up and he said he's there. He's more of maybe at the end of the season kind of guy. He's not like, hey, you're going to get him in June and he's just going to come up and maybe everything goes. But it's like that's the only guy because the way that this team was built, we traded some of these pitchers away, throughout the years, and now there's just no one to replace them. We're still like that's the reason why this payroll is the way it is. It's because it's like it goes to Max and Verlander, and you're saying you guys get us through these 2 years just being horses, and then you guys go off to fucking a farm upstate and we figure it out from there. And to be honest, Verlander had his injury issues. He's back. He's dealing. If Max comes back and is Max, as in the words of our boy Francesa, then it'll be fine. But I have not seen anything that thinks it's going to be that way, especially because we're dealing with fucking neck strains out of the blue. We're dealing with scapula, back problems. He's old as shit. Rico is fucking dying right now on the podcast. You guys can't see it, but this back is barking right now like Jacob deGrom's elbow once upon a time. Age does not fucking lose, right, Rico? So you know it better than anyone right now.
Yeah, that's we get back to, again, like the closing window. You go out and get 2 guys who are in their, 38, 40. It's like, it's a win now mode. And if you don't win now, the rebuild is that much more difficult. And luckily with Cohen, like in the pockets, will always be in the mix. But it's just tough. Like I talk about, like this was a really exciting season, like you looked at their, and we're selling ourselves on all this shit too. That helps us. Oh, we don't have to play the East as much. We're going to go play these other teams. Like we get to play the Reds twice. We do this, we do that. It's like, that ain't help. Like nothing's helping us now. Nothing.
We got the Tigers, the Rockies, and the Reds. Beautiful. This is great. And then, fucking 2 wins in 10 games or whatever.
At this point, I'm more excited to play the Rays. This would be like, hey, no, maybe I'll show up for the actual game.
Yeah.
Like they did in LA.
And it's like, I don't know. The schedule
it is what it is. We learned that last season, though. It's like we shouldn't even look at the schedule because it's like it doesn't mean shit because last year they shit the bed again in those games against Oakland and, they lost a game against the Nats that ended up killing them.
They did everything right last year too, dude. If you watched, like everything, like my dad was hard the whole time. He's like, look, they moved the guy over, they hit the opposite way, like they're good with throwing, their cutoffs, fucking like they truthfully, knowing baseball, they did everything right. And I've said that on this podcast everywhere. Like they were disciplined, they were a good baseball team. They won 101 games. Now it's like what the fuck? It's like night and day. And like I don't know what it is because none of them, I guess they got like I don't know. Marte didn't really get paid. Nimmo got some money, but like are they checked out? Like I don't know what's changed. What's the makeup of like that? This guy is lights out, and the next day it's like he's MIA.
Lindor said something I think like Sunday where the difference between this year and last year is when a runner's on second base, this year feels like you have to get the guy in. Last year was just seen as like an opportunity, like we should get him in. Now we have to. Now these guys are probably thinking, it's like we have to score like 7 runs now to even have a chance later in the game.
Yeah, I do think, and it's easier said than done, but I do think if the starters start pitching, which again, it starts with Max, Verlander staying healthy, Senga improving as he stays here. I don't even 4 and 5, just whatever, man. Quintana, Cookie, I don't give a fuck if either of those guys come back. But McGill, or more so Peterson, has been Steven Matzian right now. So it's like I can't even look at that guy straight in the face. If they come back, I do think everything will kind of like, it's like when you go to the chiropractor, they fucking they crack it and everything comes together. I think that's the starting pitching because, again, we knew the bullpen. We knew bad bullpens. We knew bad offenses. They were both like annoying, but you could stay in games if you had good starting pitching.
Right.
It would get you through the game. It would be 3-2 late, and either if the offense didn't come in or didn't show up or Familia blew the save, it sucked, but you were in the game the whole time. This, you're done in the first, second, third inning. It's 4-0, and then you're bringing in, my boy Yakabon is coming in, and he's trying to mop up with a fucking dead arm. There's just no way it's going to be possible. So that's the way I feel it's going to be. But I don't even want to I think that is the root of the problem. The biggest coming up now. We have the Nats, 4 games. All right, I'm looking at the thing. McGill Gore, Joey Fuego against Trevor Williams, TBD. Is that Max? Is that Max's start we're looking at here?
It's either going to be Max or Peterson, I think.
You got Verlander on Monday. So
yep, Verlander on Monday against Patrick Corbin, which I swear to God, if we make Patrick Corbin look like a Cy Young winner,
he'd be like our 2 starter right now.
Yeah, he would be. You got to win 3 or 4, right? As bad as you are right now, can you really lose? Can you split the Nats series and feel good about it when it's all said and done, despite us not having won a series in 5 series? No, right? You have to go out and beat the fucking Nats.
There's no such thing as must-win games in May, but there are must-win or I will go nuts games.
Mentally must-win games.
Yes,
it's
there's
for my
mentally
mental
must-win games in May. There's not must-win you're mathematically eliminated.
If the Mets do not win this, I'm going to question if they care about their fans' mental health at that point.
Yes,
that's
the way to put it.
Whereas I like to think we're a pretty level-headed podcast when it's all said and done. I'm saying this with my guy Rico on, who may not show some of the most level-headed.
No,
things
with
the
Mets.
company.
I mean, to be honest,
you're good though. You're good with the Mets.
Yeah, I mean Marty and trying to think of who else. Smitty. Everyone was kind of dunking, you Mets fans, you got crazy and you hung the banner in June. I said it too. I'm like, it is a long season. I did say that. I wasn't like Frank, completely pessimistic, but it's like Smitty with the Sixers. He's seen the wool pulled over his eyes a bunch of times. Until the clock hits 0, he has every right to be worried. Not complete panicking like Frank and going berserk, but we've just watched it with the Mets. The window closes on us a lot more than it stays open. So even in that 101 game season, you had every right to be yeah, we are good, but until I see clock hit 0, and I know there's no clock in baseball except a pitch clock. It ain't over, until Gary closes the book, it ain't over. So, and that's really what it came down to. So, I've been pretty level-headed with this team. I just say it all the time. It's it's frustrating, and you don't get worked up. I equate it to golf. If I break 100, it's a good day. If Clem shoots 75 and Phil breaks 80 or Phil's going to break 90, me going out there and ruining your day and screaming and yelling, and you're not that good. The Mets, truth, long-term, are not that good. So why break a club? Why scream and yell? Why ruin somebody else? You just hope for a good summer. I know that's defeatist bullshit attitude, but that's where we're at. So that's where I'm at with the Mets. Get amped up for playoff games. Did I think we were going to beat the Padres? Absolutely. Was I saying how great things were last year? For sure. But for the most part, you're another year. It's tough. It's like having a really bad problem. It's acting up. Or the car broke down again. It's just we got a bad car. That's how it is.
And the ironic part is this team, as bad as it is, ended up taking 2 out of 3 at home versus the Padres back in April.
Beat the Dodgers, beat the Padres, and
we were 14-7. We were easy part of the schedule. This is where we can make our hay, and here we are. Meh.
A notoriously stupid sport followed by stupid people who act like it's literally 10 times the NFL season. Yet we react more to each game than you do an NFL quarter or game or play or whatever the fuck. It's bananas, but it is what it is. And we're stuck with it. And Rika, you said it best, man. That's why I tried to enjoy last season. Cause we are a fucking model joke franchise. We are the punchline franchise of Major League Baseball. And to just act 101 seasons are just we're going to complain about those. Cherish it while it's here, man. I truly believe it. I still think we could be fine, but it's going to have to start with the pitching. Bringing up pitching, had to just talk about it on the pod. Rico, you brought him up earlier. Matt Harvey calling it a career. give me your thoughts when you heard he was retiring and just your whole Harvey thing. Cause I don't know if you really know your thoughts on Harvey, which I mean, he took us through he was a fixture on Barstool, which is usually not a good thing. And in his case, he had the good, he had the bad, he had the ugly, he had the absurd. He kind of hit all those as a Met.
Yeah. And he was lights out. I think my buddies in Boston say it all the time. They would watch Mike Golick, man. It's Harvey Day. They loved him. I mean, he was he was a treat for social media, the bloody nose and the tough guy act. But when they knew he was going to ask out of that game, or they knew, which one was it? 5, 6, they all run together. I'm bad with the memory.
5,
yeah. When it was like, he was like, I want to go in, but they knew there was a backhanded deal that he wasn't going in and there was a limit and all that shit. So at that point, it was like, all right, you're a fake tough guy. Then, to be honest with you, I had a little animosity of, again, like, he definitely tried, and he was good. But it was like, you didn't really have a lot of animosity, but you felt bad when that thing came out I'm going to forget the guy's name, and I don't want to do that. Phil, who died from the Angels?
Tyler Skaggs.
Okay. That's when I really was like, man, this is tough. Like you see somebody going through that stuff. It's like, I just feel sorry, like he's a, what could have been guy, like he's probably going to have to work. I don't know if he made, he'll be doing whatever he's doing, or he'll be in a baseball camp in North Carolina or whatever he's doing. And he'd be like, your name sounds familiar. Like somebody my age or Clem, your age, you'll bring your kids down in 10 years when you have them or whatever, and be like, name sounds familiar. You that guy? Yeah, I was that guy. I think, what's the movie where it's are you this guy? And it's like, used to be.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is, like that's like, you don't want to be a used to be guy. And it's just kind of sad. And again, it's self-inflicted. So I don't feel horrifically bad. Like he did what he did, but I do know that like that stuff is real and it can control people. So it just sucks like that. It's a disappointing career is what it comes down to. Cause he could play with the best of them. So that's what it comes down to. Disappointing career.
He made $28.7 million in his career, but 11 of that was that last season with the Angels. It was like that was his like one payday that never really came. So I have some thoughts too, but Phil, I want to hear yours because you're a little younger too. So like Happy Harvey Day, which was like a fucking, it was a beautiful thing. And it was during the darkest of days. It was the first ray of sunshine we were getting, and it was beautiful. So Phil, let me hear.
It was a team that was so bad, but once every 5 days, you were just like, oh, we may have the best team in the league this day.
Yeah.
And like he took the city by storm. He was a star. I went to a 2013 All-Star game where he started, and that's something I'll always remember. When he got Tommy John, it hit me like a bullet, and I don't like talking about it because of how it ended. Like 2015, that's the greatest Tommy John comeback ever. Like more innings than anyone ever coming off Tommy John. He literally put the city on his back to where those 8 innings versus the Royals, if he gets taken out of that game, we're looking back at that as like the greatest performance in Mets history. Yeah. And now it's just like a footnote. It
was the saddest thing in life is wasted talent, right? That's the Bronx tail line. And it feels like that with Harvey. 2013, 2.27 ERA, 4th in Cy Young, All-Star, has that moment in the game, obviously at Citi Field, gets hurt, which I still remember seeing that tweet, and it just like sucked the oxygen and life out of me.
I think it was Adam Rubin was the one I saw it from. That's a throwback.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh no, did he start it with an oh no?
I don't think it was rat. That. But
God damn it,
that was the worst.
Wait, it's flirting together. He got hurt in the All-Star game.
No, August. It was after like a 10-hit game versus the Tigers.
Yeah.
I love Phil had that one on the fucking edge of his brain. 10-hit game against the Tigers.
It may have been more. It was double-digit hits. I think he faced Scherzer that day.
I think it's better if he got hurt in the All-Star game. At least we could blame somebody.
Yeah.
The same way we blame the World Baseball Classic.
Exhibitions that don't mean anything. Actually, they might have counted back then because
I just want to say something about WBC. Frank wearing the Pete Alonso WBC jersey after constantly saying, I hate WBC, is pure irony that I will not get over.
To be fair to Frank, he did tell us on the podcast.
I know.
I like the jersey.
He can have it, but the fact he's wearing it is pure irony.
Another double standard, as they say, with Frank, who was crying his eyes out of how great the Devils were this season, that they, turned it around. The Mets were the worst 101 win team in his mind. He's a beautiful mind, that man. Harvey, 2.27 ERA in 2013, that magical year, comes back in 15. I didn't realize this until you guys said it. 2.71 ERA off of Tommy John.
It's literally outside of Verlander last year, it's literally the greatest Tommy John recovery ever.
I know it's shoulders and backs. I need that doctor. Move down a foot and a half, buddy, because it's fucked up, dude.
Elbow bone's connected to the fucking backbone somehow, some way, right?
I've never, ever done a drug. I will take whatever drugs you give me, buddy. Literally. Just make it work, dude. Because that is wild. How the fuck did they make that work after a Tommy John? It's crazy.
There's three parts of Harvey. It's the fun, the Harvey's better, right? With Strasburg, who was kind of another version of him, except he got the World Series, obviously, and got the bag, most importantly. 2 is the money. Basically from day one, you heard how Harvey was all about moving towards that big paycheck. I think the reason he went back to college or whatever, but to North Carolina, was to get that paycheck. And then in some fucked up way, the way it all plays out, he doesn't get it. And it's partially because he fucking kept pitching in 15. We have this World Series run out of nowhere, which I still can't believe we didn't raise the trophy the way the shit with the Familia game against the Padres, the Yost stuff, the fucking Wilmer stuff. That I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. We are the fucking movie where you don't get the World Series at the end. It's fucking bananas. And then the injuries, and then to go along with that, it's the ridiculous shit. Remember the Qualcomm stuff, right? Where he's on, talking it was Dan Patrick, right? I think it was Dan Patrick.
Yeah, he had no idea how to do it, and that was, again, looking back, that's kind of sad. He was probably out, we talk about the bloody nose thing, that probably was not, whatever. The Qualcomm thing, he's probably out till 4 a.m. and got a piece of paper, just plug Qualcomm. And it's this, yeah, plug Qualcomm. I just want to talk about Qualcomm.
Remember the bladder thing? And they're he's from holding his pee too long. And is it an STD? You have this stuff. He's at One Oak and it's what model he's with. And he was the product of kind of a Wilpons Mets too. That shit does not happen in the Cohen era. I'm telling you, right. You will not have anal fissures and valley fever. And every other day we could write 7 Barstool blogs about the fucking fire, maybe literally, that's going on at Citi Field when they were burning down the stadium every fucking season. And he was kind of a product of that. And I would hope that guys in the minors now, they're not having Tony Bernazard rip his shirt off and challenge him to fights. I think there's adults in charge now. And he was kind of a product of that. So it's sad. You kind of, you feel sad for him. You're happy you got to see it. And it just, in the end, it fucking just left you wanting more, which is basically what this team just does to us.
I'm looking at his game logs, and we should have seen the Tommy John coming in 2013. Because how many 24-year-olds would you see have 178 innings pitched on August 24th? Today.
God. That's malpractice if you do that.
He would have had 220 if he kept going.
Mr. Harvey should have sued him.
It's crazy. Would he have been better as a position player? I know it's the chicken and the egg, but the fact that he was, I killed it. The whole world's talking about me. Look at my picture on the paper. What's up, hun? Want to go in the back? Was it bad? He had 4 days off in between.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great point, Rico. I like that.
There's nothing worse. I don't got shit to do today. I pitched great on a Friday night. I got to show up to that stadium at 6:30. And what are you doing on the day after you pitch? You're getting a little treatment? He's not doing anything. I don't think he packed his uniform. I don't think he told the guy, don't even give me my uniform, dude. I'm wearing fucking the pants. Just give me pants, but turn them into sweatpants and give me a t-shirt. I'm not even wearing my uniform. What the fuck am I doing here? It's a day after I pitched.
Didn't he get sent home that one day? He got sent home.
2018. I said to clap. 2018, when he got suspended for staying out late the night before, I was at that game where Adam Wilk started instead of him. I still want a refund for that game I went to.
So that's the thing. He was once every 5 days he had to work, and he couldn't even get that done. So yeah, an everyday player either would have been would have made his career a real thing, or he wouldn't have even made it past single A, basically. Because
there's a Barstool joke in there, but I'm not going to make it.
You're a good man, Rico, and you're a good man for not taking that. And you went through them all. Jake's already fucking hurt yet again. Wheeler is dealing for the Phillies. Matt's alive. Phil,
he's god awful. He is.
And he's not a Jay-Z fan.
Yeah, exactly. Rico's throwing the diamonds up, and then you thought about our guy, Mr. Noah, out there. I mean, if he's brokenhearted that his ex is now engaged, did you see he's going to a hypnotist now to work out his issues? I mean, that is peak fucking Wilpons Mets too, where you have guys going to hypnotists, and it's like, just make me not remember her name, Doc. If I don't remember her name, maybe I'll fucking get my career back.
If you're putting on a Dodger jersey and you're not getting fixed by that, there's not many other fixes for you.
Yeah, if you Dodgers or Astros, if you can't go into that factory and come out an all-star, you have a problem. Who's the guy that they have there? That's the motherfucker. I sound like Frank Shelby Miller. That fucking guy who they got Dansby Swanson for. When I saw him pitching against us this year, I'm like, that would be the greatest fucking. Is he still dealing? I think
he's the race holder too.
I hate those guys so much, which again, I'm telling myself that when Stevie gets it all going, this is what this franchise will become, because we don't have anyone in the minors that can help us right now. These guys could probably pick like 7 guys blindly and just have them better than our rotation has been this year, which again, when you're 10 deep, you're gone through 2 full rotations worth of guys. You've got our 10th starter, I think, was Joey Fuego coming back. That's how you know it just may not be your year. We'll see how the injuries work for the rest of the season. But RIP and peace, Matt Harvey. Didn't get that bag, didn't get paid. And also that weird Connecticut Yankees Patriots fan thing. I know Kevin that probably burns you up a little too, Rico, I would imagine. Even though like you're kind of in a place where I think there's a lot of fandoms melded, even though it's all New York fandoms. So that's our Mets talk for the week. Now we're going to cool off, chill out, and we're going to talk some Knicks to finish up the pod. We don't have Kyle here who's going to look blankly in because he doesn't give a fuck. We have Rico. We got a Knicks fan. Phil's a Knicks fan. I'm a Knicks fan. We're going to talk Knicks. We're going to chill out, and that chill out is going to be brought to you by Coors Light. If you have some oblos, right, you got to go out for a little bit of a happy hour. It's christening season. It's communion season. All that kind of stuff's going on.
Baseball, playoffs, horses.
Swim
clubs,
whatever you may be going on.
Graduation parties,
barbecuing, Rico. We're barbecuing no matter what, right? Wait, are you guys big? Do you do the big party heroes, the little 6-footers and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, that's the usual.
That's when they changed it from the old American and Italian like cold cuts to then they started throwing the chicken cutlet on, and you get your fresh mozz on there with your roasted red peppers. I like to go balsamic on the side. I feel like that's a fair move to make.
Sogs up the bread. But exactly. You have a sandwich, give me a Coors Light. It's a perfect combo.
Absolutely perfect. And what do we love about Coors Light? It's cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged, literally made to chill. So you get some Blue Mountains, some good food, and some hopefully good sports on TV, which is why we're going to talk Knicks, because I can't tell you the Mets are a good thing to watch right now. I cannot do that to my listeners. I cannot lie to you. So pair your plans with a nice cool Coors Light, the beer that's keeping New York chill. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/believe. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Kyle tweeted it out last week. We are going to have a watch party May 23rd. Hopefully the Mets are better. It is Mets Cubs. Cubs might be the better team going into that record-wise, which I didn't see coming before the season started. And it's dozen week. So we got everyone from the company coming into New York for the dozen. Hopefully we get the Chicago guys, or at least Eddie, out to the thing. I don't know if the Chicago guys are going to be in New York. I haven't watched that match yet. And Castellani's going to come out, get all the guys from We Gotta Believe here, and we'll have ourselves a night. I believe it's Fifth and Mad or Mad. I have to get the actual bar there, but we're going to be there. Check out We Gotta Believe for the info. Rico,
can I make a suggestion?
Yes, hit me.
If we lose to the Nats and the Rays and win 1 in Cleveland, it's a Tuesday night. The Coors Lights are flowing. Hopefully you give them to people early. What do you think about putting on a 2015 NLCS game on?
I like it. Like what a Daniel. Maybe we go Jake game 5. So we have the Jake, we have Daniel Murphy. We kind of get, you know what? This guy's good.
Put that in the Rolodex of like, I could just see Kevin showing up a couple minutes late, parking wars, and it being like, Clem, what the fuck's going on? It's like, hey, we're trying to keep the people happy. We went to the tapes.
Kev, do you want to check the game on your phone? It's 7-0 right now in the third inning. Like, I don't want to be watching this.
Or do that like they did in COVID with the St. John's game, where they announced it at the end of the half, and then they put on the game from yesterday, and everyone was kind of like, and they did a fucked up thing. They put it on in the second half, so people like half eaten were like,
"Oh my god,
wait, what? I thought it was a different team." Like I'd say we come back from a commercial break down 6-0 in the third, and the next thing you know, the ground was just dealing, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? Don't worry about it. Like
I like that though. So yeah, you're saying we're going Mets Cubs, except we're going Mets Cubs from the NLCS. I like that. We'll have to. What's the best, Phil? Tell me the best game of that to watch right now, since you're fucking. You're telling me about 10 hits off of the Tigers, Matt Harvey. Was it just game 4? Did we just watch game 4?
Yeah, honestly, because that game was over in the first inning.
Yeah, and then you're just gloating all the way to the World Series. KFC was laughing at Big Cat. That was with Dave with all the shirts and stuff. Glorious time. But we could talk playoffs right now. Orange and blue team that is not pissing us off, at least not as the last game. They were pissing us off before then. We got Knicks, we got Heat. Rico, will me and you be streaming on Monday night?
I put it as this, or the spin zone. I think I'm like 40% confident, 35% confident. You had to win 1 in Miami.
I like
so
this,
losing 3 and 4 when it all comes down to it, yes. Could that have won us the series? Absolutely. But if you keep crying about things in the past, as they've taught me in therapy, it's not going to help you. Move ahead. We win game 6. It is what it is. Now winning 3 in a row, 5, 6, and 7 is pretty difficult. But, we had to go steal 1 in Miami. Just make this the 1. You steal this 1, you get to game 7. Listen, you're talking about the Knicks being in game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Like, that just doesn't happen.
We've been bad too.
Yeah, at the Garden. Like, that's been bad too. So, what are you going to do? Like, just enjoy it while you can. Like, take it for what it is. It's crazy we're even playing the Heat. The series could have been over if we played the Bucks. Like, just enjoy it.
At this point, I think we could beat the Bucks.
We haven't traded a million guys. We didn't go all in on somebody. Like, we have a good core. You can probably maybe make a move of a piece of, like, I don't know, Fournier with Randall and something like that. And maybe you do give up one of the 15 picks we have over the next 5 or 6 years. Like, whatever. Like, as long as you, like, that was what's tough about going to Melo. We went all in on Melo, and you made it to the second round. And Amari Stoudemire is smashing fire extinguishers, and it's a disaster because Dolan got involved and was like, take this. And Walsh was like, nah, man, don't bluff. And the Nets were leaking shit we're going to get him. They weren't getting him. They just knew they wanted the Knicks to pay up. Yep. So it was a horrific move. And with all that said, we made it to the second round. Like, this is organic second round. You can build off of this. It's very similar to the Giants.
Yep, that's a perfect way to put it. The way I feel about the Giants is the way I feel about the Knicks. The people in charge are smart. There's young talent there, and it should get better, and there's moves to be made down the road, which after that Atlanta series 2 years ago is like, yeah, Reggie Bullock. He's not a long-term answer here. And Nerlens Noel and all this kind of stuff. And then they were able to kind of do that. They fucked up the moves the next year with Fournier and stuff. And then they pivoted on a dime, and they have not mortgaged the future. So I feel very good about the team no matter what happens tonight. I'm with you 100% on there. Phil, how are you feeling right now going into game 6 tonight, which is like, there was a time after the first quarter in game 5, it looks like game 6 might not be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the game of the series that bothers me is the game 1 where they had a double-digit lead at home. Yeah. And things would be so much more different if we took care of our business at home. We'd be up 3-2 instead of down 3-2. I wonder if Jalen Brunson has enough energy left in him after going all 48 on Wednesday night, because we're going to need another 48 from him tonight, because there's nobody you can sit him for, because Josh Hart's been like a non-factor this series.
Yeah, and Quickly's out, so you're not going to get any of that from him in terms of, let's just throw Derrick Rose out there who has to start running now.
My buddy swore to that. He's like, put Derrick Rose in for a couple of minutes. I'm like, Steve, he literally might die. His knees can't take it. It's like
he hasn't played since New Year's Eve.
I know.
Who's in worse shape, his knees or Rico's back right now? Because Rico's wincing, he's not doing good.
Yeah, Phil probably thinks I'm back out on Phil. I promise you. Phil could be telling me like, dude, you're the best guy in the world right now, and I'm still whinging. It's bad. But yeah, Derrick Rose's knees look like my back for sure.
Yeah, it's no bueno. I do think I could be dead wrong on this. I feel like tonight, if the effort's there, they have a fucking chance, because the effort showed up, and it did show up when Julius Randle was on the bench. Let's be honest. When the fucking guys were running around, making moves, guys were making the rotations, because it seems like the Heat were always open for those 3-pointers every single time. Now, they missed a lot of 3-pointers wide open in game 5, which is probably not going to happen again. I feel like those role players kind of do better in the friendly confines of their home. But you have a chance.
They still shot okay from 3 in game 5.
Yeah.
It was like 30%. It was not great at all, but it wasn't 16%, like.
And maybe the refs are going to actually call movie screen on Bam Adebayo, or maybe
we got the
4 more guys getting
extender.
hurt before then, you know?
The
And we got the
extender's happening
extender.
tonight. Yep.
Scott Foster's in tonight, which makes me feel very good. Silver sending the A team down to Miami. So I do feel good about that. It's an effort thing with me. I mean, like Brunson's the one guy. He's good for life. Grimes is pretty much good for life after that one play where he was hurt. That was like, honestly, Rico, you did the thing about best moments of the Knicks in the last 10, 20 years. That is probably like top 5 of the last 10 years by itself, right? That's all we were asking for, was basically half that fucking effort. We got it. If they don't give it, if Tibbs doesn't see a guy give an effort, on the bench, next one out. And if he has to keep going till Derrick Rose or Evan Fournier is out there, I don't give a fuck. It has to get done. Hopefully it does get done. We'll see what happens. And then Monday night would be in New York. It'll be a fucking zoo. I saw Jimmy Butler said he's willing to go 48-2. You know, he wants to kind of make his mark on this series because he really hasn't. He had that moment in game 1 where we're like, oh, there's playoff Jimmy. But I still feel like, you know, he was probably, you know, getting healthier throughout the series as well. So he's ready to stick the knife in us and be the latest Knicks killer. So we'll see what happens tonight. I'm taking the Knicks. What is it, 5.5 on the sports book?
I think it's up to 6.
Is it up to 6? Fuck, I don't like when it moves the other way, man. I don't like when the smart people are moving the lines on us and shit like that. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better than I am about the Mets. But no matter if it's a Mets, the Knicks, beloved Giants, all Giants fans here too, which I love. The Giants Mets gypsies here that Kev always talks about. Gotta believe.
Gotta believe.
Hit me with Eureka.
You gotta buy Rough and Rowdy, rnr.com.
That's a company man.
You gotta buy Rough and Rowdy, that's for sure. In a week, talk to me about the Mets, but I know this, buy rnr.com.
That's a company man. That's why he is what he is, baby. That's why we love him.